Hello, beautiful people. Happy winter solstice. I hope that you are doing well and finding some time to slow down and find peace in your days as we enter into this holiday season. If you're watching this in the replay, hope that you're settling into who you are becoming, regardless of what season you're in. Just taking note of what season you are in, what season you're entering, what season you're leaving, what you're integrating from the past season and bringing with you into this next season of your life. And I'm going to do a little bit of teaching before we get into our practice, just to bring some awareness around why we're doing what it is we're doing. So recently I've been going weekly to a yoga class, and it's called Fascia Integration Flow, and it's based off of something called Human Garage, which is a fascial practice. We're going to get into why this is really important, because this is at the core of all the work that we do inside of the Dragon's Den, all of the work that we do together in any of the containers that you might be in with me, is really at the core getting to the deep cellular layers and beginning to create new pathways, new ways of relating, new ways of being with each other, with the different parts of ourselves and our cells. And fascia is the thing that holds us all together, right? So it's basically, the way I like to envision it is like if we were, so like the trees are the lungs of the earth, right? So like it would be like that kind of network. But how I really like to see it is like the mycelium of a human. So mycelium is this network that different plants, specifically mushrooms, communicate to each other through. And it's through the different nodes of the earth. And this is very similar to our bodies. So I like to envision it as the mycelium of the body. And in this yoga class that I go to every week, we focus on pinning the fascia. So what that looks like is really just like tightening, but not tightening in a sense of like contracting, tightening in a sense of making space, if that makes sense, like you're squeezing something out. And so one of the core practices of this is zipping up through center, as my instructor calls it. And so this looks like pinning your fascia from your belly button kind of like to the back of your spine, as if you were like flexing your abs or sucking in a little, but not really sucking in, more like flexing the abs, and then feeling that all the way up into the heart. And this is an amazing practice just to carry with you throughout the day, but it's also amazing to integrate into your yoga practice. As well as, the reason why this is so effective is because the fascia is actually what holds our memories. So it's the memory network of our bodies, and there's a lot of evidence that the memory is in the water, but the water is connected through the fascia. So we can shift the memory of our waters, of our internal waters, or we can remember different aspects of ourselves through this fascia work. It's been really transformative for me, and this is not like something that just my yoga teacher does. It's something called Human Garage, and it's something you can look up. It's free. They have practices all over, but I'm going to be incorporating this more into my own practice, and then eventually through my yoga teaching as well. So I wanted to take a moment to kind of give you that little preface of like why this is important and how this can shift things for us, because when we work with the subtleties of our body, we can not only increase our sensitivity as our superpower, but we become more aware of what's actually going on within us, and then we can better decide and meet our own needs, decide what it is that we need, and then meet those needs. And additionally, our fascia responds to the way that we program it, just like any cell, any form of energy. The way that you observe it is what shifts the way that it shows up. So simply by working with the fascia, we can shift a lot of these things. And one of the practices that has been really powerful for me, there are a bunch that we do in this like yoga flow practice, but the one that has been like really impactful for me is called an organ reset, and as well as a palate cleanser. So we're gonna stick our hand in our mouth for one of these, and then we're gonna do some pressing, just very simple pressing on the organs and breathing. And this is something that you can come back to this video, but I also recommend like just kind of feeling into it intuitively, doing it maybe in the morning or before you go to sleep. I did it one night before I went to sleep, and I had the most insane sleep experience. It was so beautiful. So I highly recommend. I'm just gonna back up a little bit. We are again in the car today. It is too cold outside, and I have an aversion to filming at my house right now. I did write something this morning that I would like to kind of bring into the space as an intention of setting the space for what we are programming our organs with. So what we're going to start with right now here in this space is just finding a comfortable place to sit or lay down. You can lay down, sit, stand, whatever feels most comfortable for you right now. Maybe bringing your eyes to a close or a soft gaze in front of you. And just bringing your attention to your heart. Maybe placing a hand there, maybe both hands there. And taking a few deep breaths here, bringing anything to the surface that you want to focus on, any intentions. And then after you take a few deep breaths here, we're going to put our hand on our head, right hand on the top of our head, left hand over the heart. We're going to breathe in through our heart and out through our head. Two more breaths here, in through the heart and out through the head. And just taking a moment before releasing to see if you can feel the heartbeat of your heart and the pulsation inside of your head. Bringing awareness to these two separate areas simultaneously. Connecting your upper sight with the sight of your heart, and then later with the sight of your gut as we do our organ reset. Connecting the three eyes of your soul. When you feel complete there, you can let that go, and then I just invite you to bring one or two hands to the back of your neck. This is where your vagus nerve actually meets the fascia and the rest of your body. This can bring some comfort, some ease. And then we're going to do a bit of somatic clearing. This is actually a Qigong technique. So we're going to take our hands, we are going to put them on our sacral chakra. For women, you're going to have your right hand underneath, left hand on top. Man, you're going to have your left hand underneath, right hand on top, or whatever feels comfortable, whatever you're feeing today. Just bring a Few breaths now to this gut area after creating that head and heart coherence. Allowing the chi to build here and connecting to the world of your imagination. And then just ever so slightly, we're going to take our hands away from us, kind of in a cupping way, and bring it over our head, down the back of our neck, kind of like we're washing away. You can even go over your face. Do that a few times. We'll do 2 more. You can kind of imagine you're wiping away any excess energy, like you're in the shower. You can imagine a golden or white light moving through your hands. Once you've done the head, you're going to take your left arm, you're going to brush down and then up underneath. We're going to do that 3 times. Down, up. Continuing to breathe here. Down. And then when you're finished there, you're going to do the other arm. Down, up, down, up, down, up. You can give yourself a little shake. And then we're also going to do this for the legs. You can do this standing, sitting, whatever. We're going to brush down all the way to our toes, going around the bottoms of the feet and up the back of the leg, down to the bottom of our toes, and up the back of the leg. One more time. Syncing your breathing with your movements. You can remember to be zipped up through center here, anchoring that energy into your solar plexus. Noticing the shift of how your body's feeling just from those soft and subtle movements. Noticing any other areas where you want to shake off any energy. Allowing yourself to do that. Maybe do some somatic shaking a little bit. Fully landing here in this space. I'm going to go ahead and read what I have prepared for us today, and then we'll go into the organ reset. You can sit here with your hands once again on your sacral chakra, or any way that feels like it needs the energy of your hands, maybe your heart, maybe on that vagus nerve behind your neck. Continuing to breathe here. It is safe for me to be here, to take up space, and to be seen in my emotions. Vulnerability is safe for me. I am allowed to take up space and be seen for who I truly am. It is safe for me to take risks and trust myself. It's okay for me to fall, for me to fail. It's okay if it looks like it's not working, because my heart is the determining factor, and I get to decide what I am orienting to. I choose to orient towards love, towards opening, towards knowing that I'm capable. I am capable. I am a goddamn adult. I am no longer living in the past. I am anchored in the now, continuing to stay zipped up through center here. Where all timelines meet, in the now, I am anchored. I am at 0 point within myself, fully balanced and open to the world. I am constantly creating this world. I am open to this world that I am constantly creating. I take accountability for my creation. I own my state of being by being fully embodied in the now moment, zipped up through center, fully in my body. I am the best I can be, and yet I am constantly ever evolving into something new. I am shape-shifting always into what best suits my needs here and now. I trust myself in my shape-shifting. I trust myself in my process. Because of this, I am always exactly who I need to be when I need to be her. I trust in myself and my body, my instincts. I allow myself to dive headfirst into what I desire because I trust myself. I am thankful for my instincts, for always knowing exactly what I need. I allow myself to do the hard things first, to take the leaps, and to feel the reward of trusting my soul. I allow myself to see people as people and not as objects, allowing me to see me as a person and not as output. I am always exactly where I need to be. I thank my body and I invite in gratitude and acceptance for all that is, exactly as it is. I rest in the arms of peace, love, longevity, and well-being. Ashe. Now, with your eyes closed, you can begin to bring in any intentions, maybe tapping lightly on the top of your head, activating your knowing center, bringing in any chanting if you like, any affirmations, any sounds, ohms. If you want to work with the crown chakra, you can invite in an Now we're going to bring our energy to our belly button once again, bringing both hands with 2 pointer fingers, pointer and middle finger, placed directly on the belly button. From here, we're going to go down 2 inches. I like to do two big steps of my fingers, and over to the right 2 inches so that you're right above your hip bone, right next to your hip bone. And you're just going to slowly pinch in here. Well, not really pinch in. You're just going to push in and twist. I like to twist down, but you can twist how you feel. Keeping your other hand either on your solar plexus, on your heart, allowing it to be there with your body. And just breathing here in through the nose, out through the mouth. And go ahead and let that go. We're gonna walk up past the belly button, up 2 more inches right below the rib cage. We're gonna do that same technique, pushing in and twisting a little bit. You can even pull up towards the rib. And breathing here, 6 breaths. And we're going to take our hand and we're going to walk to the opposite side below the other rib. I'm going to do that same thing. We're going to pull up in the opposite direction, twist and pull. Breathing here. Staying zipped up through center if you can. And what we mean by that is really just collapsing the space between your spine and your belly button. Flexing those abs. And I want you to remember the words that we just read together. As we pass over each organ, working with the stomach now, giving gratitude and appreciation for the work that they do, for the capacity that they hold to protect us when we may not be able to protect ourselves, by holding the energy that we may not be able to process initially by ourselves. When you feel complete there, you can go ahead and move down, we're going to stop 2 inches to the left of the belly button, twisting, pushing in and twisting gently here. Breathing. Walking down 2 more inches to being right above the hip. Pushing in here gently and twisting. Thank you for holding me. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for protecting me. Thank you for honoring me. Show me how I can better honor and take care of you. I am taking care of you. This is proof that I am taking care of you. And we're going to bring both hands to the bladder. It's going to be in between the hips, down a little bit towards that pelvic bone. You can kind of push your backside, your butt cheeks into the pelvis as you're pushing down. This is where fear is stored. So we can take a moment to take our power back by zipping up through center, allowing that fear to be there and thanking it for the role it plays in taking care of you. Once you've done 6 breaths there, you can go ahead and release that, maybe shake out a little bit. And just bring your left hand, pointer finger and thumb to the bottom of your throat, where your collarbones begin to protrude out. And then take your right hand, pulling up towards the thyroid. Pulling these two separate areas, this one conjoining area in two separate directions. Continuing to breathe here. And the deeper you breathe, the more space that you're creating for yourself. The more you're opening the fascia and creating the space for new movement to flow. And you can drop that. We're also going to do a sinus. So we'll take our left hand to the right side of our nose. On the bridge of the nose, there will be a little pocket. You're going to press into that. And then we'll take our left hand, pushing the cheek back, kind of tilting the head. Breathing here. It's really beneficial if you can breathe through the nose here. And go ahead and drop that. Do the other side. Pushing in at the bridge, the opposite side. And pulling the cheek up towards the ear. Tilting the head. Breathing, zipping up through center, allowing yourself to really feel that stretch. Notice what's opening here. Go ahead and drop that. We're going to take the right hand over the top of our head, pulling backward on the top of our ear. And we're going to take our left hand, pulling down, and we're going to kind of twist the ear. And just breathing here. You might feel releases like that. And stretch and twist a little more, bring in some movement. We're going to drop that and do it on the other side. So, taking the left hand, pulling the right ear upwards. Taking the right hand and pulling the left ear down and twisting. And then bringing in that stretch, that and go ahead and drop that. Now we're going to take our left hand and we're going to put it under our right armpit with our right hand on our left shoulder. You can cross your right leg, whether you're sitting or standing, over your bonus points if you stand. Over your left leg, right leg over left leg. Just taking a few moments to breathe here, maybe out through the mouth or through the nose. And then we'll take our left arm that's underneath, and we're gonna swipe the back of our palette from left to right 6 times. And the back of your palette is actually, for me, I have like little balls back there, but not like the thing that hangs, but like it's like the top of your mouth right behind your molars. So we're gonna do that 6 times on this side, continuing to breathe as you do so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Bringing the left hand back down. I'm just taking a few moments to breathe here. What that does is it releases our hip area as well. So for me, it does a lot for the head, but it also helps the hip area. Of course, everything is connected. And in Human Garage, they also talk about how there are 3 sections to every single part of the body and how those kind of like correlate with other sides of the body. So like if you're working with your right wrist, it will affect your left ankle and things like that. So now here in this position, we're just going to unwind, and we're going to do the opposite of what we just did. So we had our left arm under, so we're going to take our right arm and put that under, putting our left arm on top and our right foot over our left leg. Did I say? I think I messed up the last time with the legs, but regardless, this is just the structure. It doesn't need to be perfect. But we're just gonna stay here for a few breaths, and then we'll do the palette swipe going right to left. Enjoying all of the noises that come to us while we are in our practice. You may also feel yourself tingling or sweating, or you may feel a little bit of lightheadedness. That's perfectly normal. This is basically like releasing stagnant energy, so then your brain gets to eat it. So it can sometimes feel like a lot. And some emotions may come up. Just be with yourself. Know your edge, know your limit, know what you're willing to explore. All right, we're gonna bring up our right arm underneath, keeping our left arm on our right shoulder, and we're gonna do our palette swipe from the right side to the left 6 times. Bringing that arm back down underneath the armpit, staying here for a few breaths. And when you feel ready, you can go ahead and release. Coming back to that 0 point, feeling the extremities of your body, wiggling your toes, noticing how you feel. You can walk if you're on a mat, or if you were sitting, I recommend you get up and walk. You can go through a little vinyasa flow, maybe a chaturanga. Maybe just stretching. You can also take any of these positions that we did with like the arms. So like with the, with the ear one, like you could go down into a squat to really like get the stretch in through all of the different areas of your body, because so like your head has A, B, C, your torso has A, B, C, your legs have A, B, C, and so when you work with, you know, C, it affects C and also C. Do Do you get what I'm saying? So the more you kind of just like take this and like explore with it, the more that you're going to get to know your own body and create that relationship. Something else you can do is called somatic tracking, just noticing like when certain emotions come up or characters come up and like how that shows up in the body, what energies or actions kind of come from that. And like, for example, maybe one character of yours like can really see people, but then there's another character of yours that like completely wants nothing to do with anybody else. And so just getting to know those characters, getting to know how they show up in the fascia, how they show up in the body, and rather than trying to change them when we're doing this fascia work, just allowing them to be as they are, knowing that they are serving a purpose. And when we take back that inner authority, it's not that we're diminishing the voice of that character, it's that we are bringing in an integrative focus that allows us to act from the adult version of ourselves. And that can be really empowering, especially for people who, you know, didn't learn to experience that early on in their life. So this is one of the ways that I've learned to really take care of myself, and it's been really, really beautiful. And I look forward to incorporating this more into my practice. I wanted to share with you guys, like, this is something that I was doing intuitively for a while, like just working with my fascia. I could always feel like my fascia in my body. And so I began to work with it, and then one day I stumbled upon this class and I was like, oh, this is exactly where I meant to be, because this is something I was already intuitively doing, and I love the free flow that comes with it. And then of course, if you know other ways of somatic work like yoga or character work or IFS, you can incorporate those with this practice, right? So a lot of the time when I go to the yoga class, there's a meditation afterwards, and I end up like getting into my fascia and just moving the energy, not really focusing or trying to understand it, just like moving the energy, feeling it. And then when we go into the meditation, I usually do the parts work because it's just all there. It's all ready to be worked with. So this is a really beautiful way to get into the body and to begin doing that. I will offer you one more practice before we close out here. And so this is going to be a tightening of the fascia around the neck. And we always want to make sure we're zipped up through center. So whenever we're doing any of these practices, it'll hit different if you're zipped up through center. It'll affect different parts of your body differently because you're actively engaging the core, which is the connectivity between all the different parts of your body. So we want to make sure we're zipped up through center, and then we're going to take kind of like this part of our hands, and we're going to pinch together the back of our neck. Fingers interlaced. And we're going to take a few deep breaths here. Zipped up through center. And then we're going to inhale. I like to do sip up breath. So look up to the right. Exhale down. Zip up. Up to the left. Exhale down. Right. Left. You want to do these 6 times. And then with these, you can invite in a squat as well. So like a skier squat where you're just like kind of squatted, and then doing the breaths how we just did, and then going down into a full squat and really just like letting yourself move here, kind of come into a ball
allowing yourself to see the energy that is in your system, what you've created, what you've made space for. And then we're going to come up from that squat, bottom up first. Raising the neck all the way up, still keeping that fascia pinned on the back of the neck, looking all the way up. And then you can let go. Just notice what feels different in your body. Do you feel more connected? Do you feel like parts of you feel estranged? Are you aware of the disconnection between different parts of yourself? And just get really comfy with seeing yourself and feeling the different parts of you and your fascia and how it's holding you all together. And maybe give some shoulder rolls, moving around, feeling into the fascia some more. And then before we leave here, I just want you to take one little tidbit that you learned from this practice today that you can take with you into your relationships or into life in general. What is a theme or what is a realization that you're going to take with you from this practice today? That safety can be built, maybe. I'll share with you today in our meditation, because our yoga class was today, I had the realization that I was often judging the people around me, and I'm realizing it's because I wasn't seeing them as people but as objects, but also it's because I was objectifying myself by not allowing myself to just be. So while externally what I was doing was I was blaming others and all those things, internally what was going on was I was judging my inner child for taking up space and for having emotions. And I was so focused on my inner child being wrong that I forgot that I'm the parent too, and that I get to take up space in that role too. And when I am the parent and I parent myself and I hold myself accountable and I discipline myself and I take up that role as parent, then it doesn't really matter what my inner child is doing, because it's okay, like I got it, you know, and I'm coming from that space. And both of these can continue to coexist in my body. There's no need to get rid of one or amplify one or, you know, whatever. It's about learning to integrate the lessons of those relationships. So instead of focusing so much on what my inner child is doing, it's my job to bring that consciousness back into the parent aspect and move from that space. Because the inner child is going to do what the inner child wants to do. It's our job to be in the driver's seat, in the seat of the soul. And we can do that by taking back our own authority. And I find that zipping up through center, like doing that practice, oh my gosh, that's one thing that you can do every single day in the littlest things. Like you could be, I don't know, I'm making flashcards right now. So like sometimes when I'm making flashcards, like I'll be zipped up through center, you know? And it's just like that act of engaging the fascia, because our fascia is what holds the memory. And so when we actively, consciously, intentionally engage it, we can intentionally program it with the identity we choose to be showing up as. And this is how we can create the shifts in our body as well as then see them in the outside world. So there's been a lot of shifts that have happened for me since starting to formalize this practice in my life, and I really wanted to share it with you, and I hope that you find some value in it. As always, I invite you to join the Dragon's Den, where we have a ton of these practices. There's a somatic portal, an entire somatic portal, where you can go in and there are practices for any rhyme, any reason, any occasion. We're constantly building that, and there are tons of courses for you to kind of do this work on an intellectual level as well as a somatic level, integrating the two and supporting your soul in the process, supporting your unique flavor of humanness in the process. So I look forward to seeing you there, and I will always see you on the next time we get together here. Okay, I love you. Happy day.